If you're working with some plain fabric at home and you want to take it up a notch, why not do that with some really fun tie-dye? So before I went to Florida to meet up with my friends, I knew that Michelle, with Michelle Sews Again, was actually going to be doing an ice dyeing tutorial, like a whole lesson. And so to prepare for that, I actually made 2 little white dresses for Project Dress a Girl, so that way we could tie-dye them. And you know, you could see what the expert made, and then you can see what I made. Well, the fabric that I actually chose was this white quilting cotton right over here that I had picked up from Joann's. And it has these little white polka dots in it. It's kind of faint to see because it's white on white. It's a little hard to see, but they're there. Also, because Joann's didn't have any white bias tape, I picked up the only color they had, which was navy. And I went ahead and just made the dresses up with the navy bias tape, packed them in the suitcase, and brought them along for the ride. And you know what was crazy? As soon as I stepped into the door, all the ladies were already there, ready to tie-dye. There were the tie-dye stations. I mean, they were all set up. Michelle had tons and tons and tons of colors of dye, and they're like the pigments, right? So it was all powdery stuff, and you didn't mix it with water because we were going to do ice dyeing. And apparently when you ice dye, if you're doing like a purple, it can split into blues and reds and all kinds of other colors. I'm not sure what exactly happens there, what the chemical process is, why some of those dyes run away from water, like my 4-year-old. I don't know. But they were just splitting and they were trying to get up out of there. So first we all picked like a general color scheme. Now I knew that I wanted to go in with like maybe some blues, purples, and reds and stuff like that. So I actually settled in on watermelon, a fuchsia, and a blue. I think it was like a turquoise actually. Don't quote me on that one. After we had the actual dyes chosen, you had to decide how you were going to fold up your fabric. So you can, you know, do little paper origami type of tricks on fabric to make fun shapes. I didn't know any of that. I just kind of did little pleats, scrunched it up, put a bunch of rubber bands around it, and I had a really long tube. After I had really heavily coated my little sausage dress, I went ahead and made a little foil barrier so that way the ice wouldn't escape. And you can see a picture of it right over here. It was so much fun. So we all layered the ice over the top of it and we let that melt down for a little bit. We went shopping, we did a bunch of stuff, and then we came back and we put more ice on it if it needed it. Now here's the part that really stunk. When it was time to kind of rinse out these things, I mean, we had to rinse them out until the water ran clear. So we were in the garden with a hose. It took forever for the dye to run clear. And I think especially the red dyes. And I mean, that was like primarily what I had used on mine. This red dye, it was hanging on for dear life. But it didn't know who it was messing with. I won that battle. So when it was actually time to grab them, I mean, I had to put them right back into my suitcase and they were still a little damp and I wasn't playing with wet dye. So I did throw them into some plastic baggies and brought them back home where I ran them through the washer and dryer again. And so this is what they actually ended up looking like. Now, I went ahead and put some red pockets on my dress, and I actually think that I put them a little too far apart. I might have to fix that a little bit. But isn't that just really adorable? Now, this is the smallest dress size that they had. I think it was 17 inches long. And then look at the back. My favorite is actually the back. And you can see the blues, the fuchsia, the watermelon. Oh my gosh, it was actually really fun. But look at Michelle's. And this is where you can really see the difference. You can tell this is someone who's been playing with some dye for a while because, hello, look at those colors. Look how they all just kind of split up and did all kinds of fun stuff. Michelle folded this little thing up into like a football and had like a million rubber bands or something about it. I don't know, she like kicked it around the living room a couple times, came back to it and threw some dye on it, and look how adorable it came out. When I had asked her what color pockets she wanted me to put on her dress, she actually told me purple, and yeah, I think purple would look really cute. But you know what? I'm feeling really kind of spiteful because when she had asked my opinion about some buttons and I told her red, and she went and put on every color of the rainbow. So you know what? Michelle, you're about to get navy blue pockets to match your binding. One of the interesting things that I noticed about these dresses were that all of those little polka dots actually remained lighter, so they do actually show through on both of the dresses. Isn't that really cute? Not only that, but the white thread that I had used actually remained white, including the serger thread. So I thought that that was really interesting, and I guess that was actually to be expected because the thread was a polyester thread, and because it was in cotton, it wasn't going to absorb the same way. So those were two really interesting takeaways. Would I do it again? Not unless Michelle's there and I'm using Michelle's stuff and her washer and dryer. No. I'll do it with Michelle, but it's not for me. And honestly, I hope that whatever little girls end up with these dresses, I hope that these dresses just bring a huge smile to their faces with all of the bright and beautiful colors. Although ice dyeing was fun, but I don't think I'd be doing it on my own, you might actually like doing it. So make sure that you check out Michelle over here with Michelle Sews Again, because she made her own Project Dress-A-Girl dresses. And then also just give her a quick follow because she does tons of ice dyeing and tie dyeing, and you're not going to want to miss out on that good stuff. And until next time, I sincerely hope that you find joy and have a wonderful day.